Hello Cherries fans and welcome to the Back of the Net preview show here for the weekend's match against Liverpool. My name's Sam Davis.
My name's Tom Jordan.
And it's good to see you once again, whether you're a Cherries fan or maybe a returning Liverpool fan. Look, it's been a while since we've been in the Premier League, and whilst most of our memories against the Reds are not particularly fond, there are a few standout moments, mate, aren't there?
There are. They tend to be at home, don't it? That home game, the 4-3, which everyone remembers very fondly. Probably one of our favourite Premier League memories. We nicked a point there as well, didn't we?
2-2, yeah.
Yeah, I remember Phobie scoring. I think it was Josh King. So we've got some points off them, which is surprising. And I think Liverpool was one of the last games before the COVID, wasn't it? And then we had the time off. So we've had some good games against them. I think we've taken a few beatings, but it's been a bit of a mixed match, hasn't it? But always enjoy going there and always enjoy playing them, mate.
Absolutely. So once again, we are on location with our preview shows. We're currently at Lockett Fuel. Now, this is a family-run coffee shop in the heart of a cool classic car showroom. It's Ashley Automotive on Wallisdown Road in Bournemouth. It actually used to be the old Quick Fit building.
That's right.
Do you remember, a few years ago. But it's been transformed, as you can see. So if you're passing by, feel free to swing in for a latte, an espresso. Have you got a latte there?
Of course.
Of course, a nice coffee, sandwiches, toasties and more. They serve top quality brands including Bad Hand Coffee, Jimmy's Iced Coffee, Soko Brownies, to name but a few. Plus, all of their sandwiches, toasties and wraps, they're made fresh to order and even cater for vegans as well. And whilst you're here, you might want to take around a nose around the showroom. Predominantly they deal in classics, American and unusual cars, limited editions, bikes, etc. But yeah, situated in the heart of Bournemouth's car district, you can't not pay this place a visit, so do check it out.
Nice.
Look, if you want to get your business involved on our preview shows, then just pop us an email, fans@afcbpodcast.com. Chance for us to give a bit back.
Yeah, if you like this video, I might be able to take that Ferrari home.
Yeah.
You know, they might be really, happy with us, and there's a few cars there I'll take home, mate.
Lovely stuff. Right, so it's fair to say that Bournemouth could be going into this game with hope in their hearts. That's about the only link I can do for an opening gambit, mate.
Yeah.
But there is a little bit of hope because of the way that they're playing at the moment.
Yeah, it's I don't know. I'm always feeling like, it's the hope that kills you, innit? How we're going into this game above Liverpool is crazy. Thinking we played Man City and Arsenal 1-1 game, but yeah, they've had not a very good start by their standards. I think it's taken with a pinch of salt. I think the opening game, Fulham were bang up for it, weren't they? You don't really want to play a promoted team on the opening day, as Villa saw with us. And then they played Palace and they went down to 10 men. I think they probably win that game. The Man U one was just an absolute shock to all, wasn't it?
Yeah.
A real surprise. And another game where it was probably weirdly not a good time to play them because Man U couldn't be any worse. They're missing Mané, we all know that. Nunes got suspended early, so they're missing him in the Man U game particularly. And then they've got some injuries and the midfield don't look right, so probably a decent time to play them, but it depends how you look at it, because in my head I'm thinking they're going to have a reaction, aren't they, at Anfield, so we'll see after the game if it's a good time to play them or not. But yeah, we've got to go in there with a bit of hope, mate. Probably not with the last two games we've had against big sides, but hopefully we'll have learned from that and learned from things that have happened in the week and how teams have got at Liverpool, and yeah, have a go, mate.
So this preview show is split into 4 parts. Firstly, our thoughts on Liverpool, and then their thoughts on us and the game itself. Also, their thoughts on them as well. So we get a selection of videos and bits that we've seen online and have a look through them and see what Liverpool fans are saying about themselves. It's fair to say they're not optimistic at the moment. Also, we do a bit of housekeeping in terms of the presser, team news from the fixture, and then Tom here, you're going to be bold and predict both sides, is that right?
I'll give it a go, mate. Yeah, we're doing better at the opposition at the moment, so hopefully I'll keep that trend going.
So yeah, look, if you want to subscribe to this channel, then why not do so with a little red button below, because not only this show, we'll have a free-for-all at full time outside Anfield, so we're going to be uploading that Saturday evening straight after the game to get some Bournemouth fans' opinion on what we just witnessed, but also a match day vlog, mate, as well, where we give a raw reaction from what it's like in the away end at Anfield.
Yeah, that's going to be an exciting one. I don't think because of not being in the Premier League. I don't think we've done a vlog at Anfield before, so that'll be really interesting. And hopefully some away day limbs, mate. But we'll see. I feel all right because we won in the Carabao Cup, so everything's all right now.
And also, we've got something that may interest you Liverpool fans as well. There's also an away day guide as well. Man City fans actually really enjoyed watching our neutral. We tried to be neutral. Our comments on what it's like on a away day. It's not just at the stadium, but the pre-match experience, what the fans are like, what the food's like, and then we put you on a tier list. So you can hear how we feel about the experience and how you compare to Man City.
It's good. Look, we've started right at the top of the league, haven't we?
Yeah, we have.
Man City and Liverpool first 2 away games. So and then we put it into like a tier, don't we? And at the end of the season, you can see where you come out against all the other clubs. So it's kind of more not just what's on the pitch, is it? It's that away day experience as a whole. So definitely worth checking out.
So look, most of us predicted Liverpool and Man City would be fighting for the top 2, which is understandable. When we did our tier list with Harry Redknapp, he went for Man City first, Liverpool second, which is understandable. But at the moment, mate, their start's pretty terrible, and there must be some clubs who obviously they're realistic about where they're going to finish. Like Arsenal, they're looking for top 4, but now part of them maybe like could we get top 2? But I'm sure that at some point the train will be back on the tracks for Liverpool. But they've got a lot of injuries at the moment and things just don't seem to be too great on the pitch, do they?
No, it's very early days, but I agree. They're probably teams like Arsenal and Tottenham are probably looking at it going, this could be a really good moment, because even City have dropped points, even they draw a game. So, very early. I know it's 3 games, but normally you'd expect City, Liverpool, 9 points. So but I think injuries have played a part. I said a few bits that have played a part, and we saw, I think it was Palace, Nat Phillips obviously played. Obviously we were trying to get him back, and that's probably why we can't. Canate and Matip out. Then they went for Gomez in the next game, so I think they've already had 3 different centre-half pairings. That's not great. You don't want that. And then in the midfield as well, an area where I wouldn't be shocked if they still strengthened by the end of the window. So it's probably in that sense maybe a better time to play them before they have. And the Núñez suspension, as I mentioned, who's come into the club and he's had to have a bit of a stalling start because of the suspension he got. So he only managed to, he hadn't completed the game for him yet in the 90 minutes. So I think they'll get there. I still think if I had to put money on it and predict, I still think they'll come second, which is what I said at the start of the season.
But there just will be a bigger gap.
There might be a bigger gap, but it's Liverpool. It wouldn't shock me if they just suddenly go 7 wins in a row. You go, oh, fair enough, they're fine. And Jurgen Klopp, probably for me, best manager in the league, so I think he'll sort them out.
Let's just hope that run does not start against Bournemouth, hey? But look, Liverpool as a football club, what are your thoughts on them, mate? Are they likeable? Do you like their manager? Do you like their fans?
Yeah, it's a weird one. I think first of all, they're just massive. And
they're so big. And we get a gauge on how big a club that we're going to play based on the interaction that even we get as a little Bournemouth podcast. We get so many messages asking for media requests or little sound bites or participation in their kind of stuff, but also the interest in our material as well, and they're absolutely massive.
Yeah, it's a different level in it, and I always think, when I think of kind of big, if you just said to me, name all the big football clubs in the world, I'll go Liverpool, Man U, Barcelona, Real Madrid would be the first 4 that just come out of my mouth. And I think, Liverpool are huge, and to be fair, it's, my age, I'm 30.
Why didn't you mention Forest?
Well played. I think, I'm 30, so it felt really weird knowing through my childhood that Liverpool is this massive club, but they just never done it in the league for my age. And we're always good in Europe, and it was really odd. And Klopp's brought the good times back, hasn't he? So they're certainly not going to get carried away with a bad 3 games. I think he's a top manager, and they're good to watch as well. I think City, you say, are good to watch because the way they play football is beautiful, but it's also a bit soul destroying that you think, it's just keep the ball. Liverpool are more like, I think they described it once as Man City are like an orchestra, and Liverpool are more heavy metal. It's just like, and it probably as a little team you think, could we get in at the other end? But they're so explosive going the other way. So, they're a top side. They'll be up there, and they've always. I know it's never looked at like that if you're a supporter of another big club, but they never let the country down in Europe, do they? They're always one of the, like even now they've lost 3 games. They've got to be one of the favourites to win the Champions League again. So massive club, mate, massive history, and a club that's on the up at the moment, despite the opening 3 games. So whatever they're doing, I always think if you get anything at Liverpool, that is enormous for a club like us. I
was reading in a paper, some columnist. I think it was the Sun actually. No, it wasn't the Sun. Don't buy the Sun. Don't buy the Sun. But there was I can't remember what paper it was, the I paper or something. And someone was saying, I think it's Daniel Storey maybe, that that loss at Old Trafford seemed quite symbolic because it may start the renaissance of Man United season, but also it's kind of, for Liverpool, this is almost a crucial point of time already. And I think Dan Potts, on a recent show that he did on Football's 12th Man podcast, also said Jurgen Klopp sort of deals with his football clubs in 7-year periods. Like, was it Mainz?
Dortmund,
and now this is the 7th year. So is this
7th season syndrome?
Is this when the empire comes crumbling down? But look, I mean, they have got a lot of losses through injury, but also Mane as well. The loss of Mane, like I didn't know how that would affect them, but I think it is affecting them quite a bit.
Yeah, I know when I spoke to Liverpool fans, just that I know from down there, because there's plenty of them obviously down there, because as we were saying about the size of the club, and they were all very much like, Mane's more crucial than you realise. And that's what's weird, is everyone I knew that had an interest in Liverpool was saying how big a loss Mane's going to be. But then there's still a surprise that they've started slowly. But if you actually look at it in context, you go, it probably was going to take them a bit of time. There's a lot of pressure on Diaz, and then as we mentioned with Núñez, it was always going to be pressure on him, and then he hasn't been available anyway. So I think the Mane loss was always going to be huge. I think people put so much on Salah that they forget how vital Mane is. Like he's already top goal scorer in Bundesliga, I think, at Bayern. So yeah, he's going to be massive for him. I think watching that United game, just the way he stretches defenders, everyone else felt like they wanted to come to the ball more. Salah, Firmino, they wanted to come and get the ball. So once United got the lead, they could be quite compact and be deep because no one was making that running behind, which Mane is so good at. He just doesn't stop, does he? Whether it's through the middle or wide. So they're always going to miss Mane, and I think that's what's weird. There's a lot of pundits that said, Liverpool are going to struggle without Mane, and then as soon as they struggle without Mane, they go, what's going on? So it is a weird one, isn't it? Because you go, Klopp's got so much credit in the bag, it's absolute madness for anyone to say, do we change the manager? But they lose to Bournemouth, and you can't get away from it then, can you? So it weirdly is a big game, but whatever happens, I'll be absolutely shocked if they don't get minimum top 4 and latter stage of the Champions League. They just will.
I was chatting to Neil Atkinson from the Anfield Wrap. You may remember him from the PFA vlog that we did in Manchester, where Tom was hopelessly ringing the praises of Dom Solanke only for Mitrovic to win the award, which was fair enough. But we chatted to him, and on the Anfield Wrap preview show that I did for them yesterday, he asked me a question which I'm going to pose to you as well. Okay. And I don't know whether you answer this based on Liverpool's squad now when they're fully fit or where they're at the moment, but I can let you decide this. How far do you think the gap is between us and Liverpool 2015 when we first got promoted to the Premier League and now?
How big's the gap increased? Let's be honest.
Well, has it increased?
Yes.
But you could argue, playing devil's advocate, that we've got more Premier League experienced players this time round than what we did the first time. Maybe what has increased is that technical quality, but I suggested to him that the thing that has also increased is the fear factor, whereas we didn't have that the first time round, did we? We just went for it.
Both teams are very different, actually, if you think about it. But yeah, we kind of just went for it. And yeah, I think we've got slightly more experience than we had back then. But the difference in Liverpool teams is absolutely crazy. I mean, for Liverpool fans, if you're not quite sure when we first come up, it was when Leicester won the league. It was that season. Liverpool weren't in the conversation for a league title. They weren't in the conversation.
And Spurs finished second that season.
No, third. They finished third in a 2-horse race, didn't they?
Arsenal picked them. They did, yeah.
But Liverpool weren't in the conversation, and Leicester won the league, and that's the difference. I'm trying to remember. It's really hard without thinking some of the players they had there. I mean, I remember it was probably more that Lucas and Chan and that in the midfield. They're not bad players. I think they had Mignolet and
he scored a great goal at Dean Court, Emre Chan, didn't he?
Yes.
In front of the South Stand.
Yeah, that was the 4-3 win for us actually. But yeah, it was. I'm trying to think of an equivalent now. It would be the equivalent, in my opinion, of us playing this season when we go to. Let's have a think. When we go to maybe Newcastle.
Yeah.
A team that are kind of, you think, they could get Europe, or West Ham, something like that. Whereas now, going to Liverpool is so much harder.
Yeah.
So, I think Liverpool's levels have increased, tenfold. Maybe ours have a little bit more experience, but yeah, I think going to them games we thought, actually, I reckon we can nick a point. Now we're going, if we nick a point, I'll be dancing on the streets. So, yeah, there's a bigger gap.
So they're going to be without their new signing, the Uruguayan 22-year-old Darwin Núñez, and they got him from Benfica for a club record fee of 85 million. I think the initial fee was 64 million, but it will rise based on a number of factors. But he's one of the players that they're going to be without.
Yeah, they will miss him.
Lost his head a bit, didn't he?
Yeah, literally. Yeah, it was one of them where he's probably, his first start in the league, and he's probably trying to, show what it means, and he's just let it go over the top. I think Anderson done a really good job on him at Palace. At the back, wound him up all game, but it certainly changed the way they play, mate, because they haven't got another kind of big focal point like Núñez. So I think he'll come into the team and strengthen them, but he won't be for this weekend. It's probably a good thing for us, as we saw against United. They probably struggled without him.
Also, Carvalho as well, the winger from Fulham, they signed for an undisclosed fee. Also, they signed young 18-year-old right-back Calvin Ramsey from Aberdeen. That was for $6.5 million as well. And as well as, of course, Marnie leaving as well. Neco Williams as well. An FPL shout for Tom. He went to Forest for $16 million. Free spending Forest.
They've just had another right-back, I think. Sergio Aurier, I think, has just gone there as well.
Really?
Yeah, that's absolutely crazy, isn't it?
So then, mate, the last time we played Liverpool, can you remember what happened at Anfield?
So that was the one, because I think me and you were having a chat about it the other day, actually, funnily enough, with Kieran. I think that was the one we took an early lead.
Yeah, it was.
I can't remember what it ended up. 3?
2.
It was only 2-1, was it?
2-1.
Oh, okay.
So so 2-1 to Liverpool. We took the lead. Callum Wilson opened the scoring. I think there was a bit of an overlap with Lerma and maybe Phil Billing or something, but there was a little bit of a foul in the build-up that the referee didn't give. Callum Wilson shoved off one of the Liverpool players and then slotted it in. But then it was a bit of a calamitous rest of the first half, really.
Didn't we get an injury at the back and Jack Simpson had to come on?
Steve Cook went off. He hobbled off Jack Simpson, and then we weren't too great. I think Mo Salah.
He probably scored.
Mo Salah scored one of them, and Sadio Mane, I think, as well. And that was their 22nd successive Premier League win at home. Do you want to know our record away against Liverpool, mate?
We can't have won.
No, we haven't. Of course we haven't. We've drawn one, though.
Is that the only point, the one I mentioned earlier?
Yeah, was it Josh King and Bedekofobe or something?
I always remember them doing I think it might have been Wijnaldum. It was like a short back pass, and he rounded the goalkeeper, which I think was probably Mignolet, and we took the lead, and then they come back, and then I think it was a late Josh King goal.
Yeah.
So 2-2. I didn't realise that was the only point we got, but...
Well, yeah, it's not particularly great, but what does give us hope is Liverpool's injury list at the moment.
Yeah.
So the latest is Naby Keita, who missed the game on Monday night, but the other players they've got injured include Oxlade-Chamberlain, Curtis Jones, Diogo Jota, Kelleher, Konate, Matip, Ramsey, Thiago, and also a suspension for Núñez as well after that red card against Palace. So this is a chance, mate.
It might be.
But is our mentality...
That's what's going to be the difference.
Going to free the shackles of what we've seen so far when we play big teams?
It's very difficult to get a balance when you're Bournemouth, I think. We've shown against City and Arsenal, we've tried to defend deep and be compact and set pieces. We had one shot on target in each, which didn't really test their goalkeepers. So we've played really compact and defensive against City and Arsenal, and who can blame us really? But we've lost 3-0 and 4-0. So it hasn't worked, does it? We haven't laid a glove on the opposition and we got slapped anyway. Looking at them injuries and suspensions and the way Liverpool are at the moment, I would much rather us get beat 4 or 5 but have a go. If we just sit back, they will break us down at Anfield, in my opinion. So yeah, it will be about our mentality, but hopefully we've learned from them 2 games, seen what Liverpool are about, and I remember seeing, Zaha had some luck against them, and then you saw Rashford and Sancho and that pacing behind. So maybe we could do that, because we haven't really done that yet, have we? So we've just kind of lumped in a big key for more. So we'll see what happens. But we've got to have a little bit of optimism and a little bit of hope with their form. But who knows? We'll
see what happens. Right, one of the main sources of content, if you're a Liverpool fan, is the RedMenTV, and Chris Bajak on his Predicted 11 show talked about the mentality of where they're at the moment and whether they should be going for it or not. My guess is that he thinks they should. Here's what he said.
Listen, it's not been a great start to the season for Liverpool. Everybody knows that. But Bournemouth, this weekend, 3 p.m, Saturday, at Anfield, it has to be must win for me. And I can't believe I'm saying it this early on in the season, but if we still want a challenge for the top honour in the Premier League this season, it has to be a win. And I don't even know whether we're good enough right now anyway. So what are our options? I mean, no Keita, no Konate, no Chamberlain, no Thiago, Ramsey, Kelleher, Jones, Jota, Matip, or obviously Núñez for another game. What can we do differently? Right now we don't look like we've got a style of play that is going to be able to break down those low block sides, and make no bones about it. Bournemouth are going to do exactly what Manchester United did, exactly what Crystal Palace did, exactly what Fulham did. They're going to sit back, they're going to make it difficult as best they can.
But they will sit back and they will have someone they think can play up front on his own and chase long balls, and that's the game we're in. And it's going to be a question of, can we stop them scoring that one goal we normally concede?
The first goal.
In which case we get a bit more time to actually win the game, or whether or not we're chasing the game. And it's just going to be the same as always.
So you can sense a tone there of frustration, but also a little bit of desperation. Must win. Must win. It's huge for them. It's a big game.
Yeah.
Whether we'll get the atmosphere, I don't know, but they need to win this. It's desperate, but then that, maybe we can smell blood because of their desperation to get the 3 points.
I think the key is to start strong. I think the crowd's going to be expecting and hoping for a reaction, and I think if you can get onto them early, have a few little chances early on, they're going to get really nervy in there because, as you say, it's a big game for them in terms of they need to get our first win, and Bournemouth at home's got to be. I mean, they'd always be expected to be Bournemouth at home, but because they haven't won yet, they're going, well, this is the chance to, just go out there, get a comfortable win, and then we can start the season again, kind of thing. So, I think I understand it from a Liverpool point of view. I do think everyone's going a little bit kind of, it's 3 games, it's fine. They go and win the next few, they'll be right back up there again. It won't take them long. But I can see from a Liverpool's point of view, and the way they've played in them games would be a bit of a concern. But don't worry too much about it. We haven't laid a glove on the last 2, so we will have to change as well. Yeah. We will have to change. But as I say, mate, let's just put it on them and have a go. Why not? Because we can't say it's a bad time to play Liverpool. I'd much rather play them now than if they just won 6-0 against United. So let's give it a good go, mate. But my fear is that, to be honest, if they'd spanked United, I'd have gone, oh look, Liverpool, what a bad time to play them. And now I'm going, oh, they're bound to have a reaction now. So it is what it is. But who knows, mate? Who knows? Football, innit?
Yeah, it absolutely is. Right then, now let's go through some housekeeping, and we're going to check out the AFCB team news from earlier today. So at Dean Court on Thursday, Scott Parker spoke to the press in the afternoon, and he has confirmed that David Brooks is progressing very well. He is training, and that's really good news to hear. On the other hand, though, we do have a number of players that will still be missing out, including Junior Stanislas, also Rothwell and Frederick, so they are not going to be available. He's confirmed that he's open to more transfers before the window closes, which is good news. And also, speaking about Anfield, he chatted about the atmosphere, saying it can be intimidating at times, but there's a player for Bournemouth who's played in that atmosphere for the Reds, mate, and he may be available.
Tom Solanke, he started our opening game. For Liverpool fans that don't know, but he's been out the last 2. So obviously, if Dom was available, we probably would have got something at City and Arsenal, wouldn't we? Would have been easy. So
of course.
Looks like he's getting back into training, but that's quite late on in the week. We'll see when I come onto the team news. I'm not sure if he'll start. It's one of them, isn't it? You kind of go, Dom's crucial to the way we play, and he is our main threat for goals. But then it's kind of, do we risk him away at Liverpool, where it's, or do we make sure he's ready for our next game, which is Wolves at home, and it's a midweek game. So that's going to be one that Scott and the team know how ready he is.
Yeah.
They could be playing it, save and go, and he's been ready for a week, but we haven't. Who knows? But nice to see him not being out for too long anyway, by the looks of it.
Are you suggesting Parker does mind games?
Not at all. Not at all. Never. But he's going to be back sooner rather than later anyway, which is massive for us because we need more offensive depth, don't we?
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so this is going to be the part of the show where Tom Jordan is going to predict both sides. And Tom, I gather when you click your fingers, a certain thing will appear on screen. I think so. You're getting good at this, mate. You're getting good. And look, we're going to do Bournemouth first. We're just adjusting the formation on screen now. But you know what? We did have a good second half against Arsenal with 4 at the back, but I can't really see a repeat of that at Anfield. He's going to stick to what he wants to deploy this season, isn't he?
Yeah, I'll be very surprised. I think most Bournemouth fans would, if you went to Norwich, like we did, went 4-3-3 pretty much. And then we look better against Arsenal. I have said in previous shows there, it's easier to look better when the opposition have already got the win in the bag. I cannot see him changing from that back 3. It's basically a 5, and kind of 2 players in front of that, shielding. And then another two a little bit more advanced that can get wider, and then you're one up top. So I think he's going to stick with what we've started in the first 3 games.
Yeah. Okay then, so let's go through each and every player then. And despite Neto doing so well, I think it will be Travers, won't it?
Yeah, it'll be Travers. I'd say Neto done all right in his debut in the week, our new goalkeeper. But yeah, Mark Travers has started the season pretty well, so he'll be in goal. Back three's an interesting one.
Yeah, and I gather the reason why is because of Senesi in the week against Norwich. He wasn't overly
come off with a knock
brilliant.
as well.
Yeah.
It didn't seem like, it looked like something like he just felt something and they thought, let's just not risk it, we're playing, in the cup. I'm not sure if he's quite ready yet, for English football. I'm not sure. He come off at half-time against Arsenal as well. I don't think he'll start.
No.
Lloyd Kelly will be the left centre-back, for sure, captain.
I gather this means a certain midfielder will be coming back in.
Yeah, I'm going to put him in the centre. He could easily play on that right side, so that could be, but I'm going to put Jefferson Lerma at the back.
Yeah.
I think when we went away from home at City, he done a decent job there. I think he'll be in the middle of the back three, and then Chris Mepham on the right side, who hasn't let us down. I think he's actually been probably our best defender so far.
Yeah, you're right.
I think wing backs are pretty self-explanatory as well. Adam Smith comes back in on the right, and Jordan Zamora on the left, who could be up against Mo Salah. And for a young, people forget, he's literally started 2 Premier League games ever. That's going to be a test for him. But yeah, they'll be the wing backs. I'm going to make, this is a difficult one, the two sat in front, especially if I'm saying Lerma's going to drop back. I don't think he's going to play Pearson and Lewis Cook. Which one is he going to start? Because they both started.
Oh, okay. So.
Yeah, I think, I'll put him in then on that left one. I think Billing's going to play deeper.
Right, okay.
I think the fact that he wasn't in the squad at Norwich makes me think he's got Billing prepared to start this one. He didn't start at Arsenal, did he? Or was it City? He didn't start at City. I think he's going to go Billing deeper.
Yeah.
Pearson or Lewis Cook? I think he's going to go Lewis Cook.
Yeah, I think so as well.
Pearson started all 3 games, but he can't. He was one of the, he keeps coming off. Yeah, I think he's going to go Lewis Cook and Phil Billing, because I think Christie played well against Norwich, and I think Christie's going to be the one slightly to the right in player 11 there. Yeah, Ryan Christie, because he can play central and go out wide, and Tavernier on the other side.
Okay. Yeah.
So they'll be quite central, but they can burst forward and hopefully support. I think it's going to be Kiefer Moore. I think Dom will still be on the bench.
Okay.
I think Dom will be on the bench. You could argue Sadie with the way he played.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think it's going to be Kiefer Moore up top. So I think that's how we're going to set up. Probably not what me or most fans would like to see, but we'll have a few options off the bench, people like Jaden Anthony and hopefully Dom Solanke that could change things. But that's what I think we'll go with.
Okay, so let's move on to Liverpool. Okay, so we've got the Liverpool formation up. This is what you think, mate, going 4-3-3, is that right?
Yeah, I would have thought so. I don't think they'll change too much there. So yeah, I think they'll pretty much go with that 4-3-3. One of the midfielders sat slightly deeper than the other two.
Okay, in goal then, I mean, I think I can even guess this, mate. It'll be Alisson, right?
Alisson will be in goal. Yeah, that's the thing. You get past them. He's a bloody good keeper to get past. So hopefully we test him more than the last two. But Alisson in goal. He'll definitely stick with Trent Alexander-Arnold on the right side, who's getting a little bit of criticism at the moment, and he's probably someone I think we should target. I do think that we should look to maybe hang more off him a little bit, because he will bomb on, won't he? And yeah, we can maybe get on him. I know Mitrovic done well against him on the opening day, but yeah, I'll look right back. It'll be Robertson on the other side, a left back. They've got another option there, which people forget about, in Simicast, who's quite highly rated, but Robertson will play.
Yeah.
This is actually more interesting than you think, because Van Dijk's obviously in.
Yeah.
But they obviously went with Nat Phillips, who we know very well, against Palace. He probably struggled. I felt for him, because we know Nat Phillips, good in the air, but playing a high line, he just got exposed by Zaha. I think he's going to stick with Joe Gomez.
Okay.
I do think he'll stick with Joe Gomez. I wouldn't mind seeing Big Nat, but and for Liverpool fans don't know, we quite like him here, don't we? He helped us. He helped us with that promotion. He come in at a time where it was right, let's get over the line. And he showed, actually, for a young player, he showed a player that's been at a big club, because he showed real leadership qualities, I felt.
Yeah.
And bloody monster in the air, but I did think when I saw him starting against Palace, I thought he ain't got any pace, and that high line he could get exposed, and he did. So I think they'll go with Joe Gomez. I'm going to make a change to their team that they had against Man United in midfield.
Right.
They started James Milner. I don't see them starting James Milner again.
No.
I don't think he was awful, but I think him and Henderson's a little bit too much. I think Fabinho's going to come back in that sitting role. He's very good at it as well, one of the best in the business, to be honest. So I think Fabinho comes back in there.
Okay.
And then the two either side, I think, will be Jordan Henderson and Harvey Elliott. I know there's been talk of Fabio Carvalho. I know a few Liverpool fans want to see him, but I think I think Klopp will gradually get him in. He could come off the bench, but I think them three will be in the middle, and I think that looks a bit better balance to it than when they have Milner in there and Henderson has to play deeper. I think that's the midfield three they'll go with.
All right, and then the Fab Three are always the ones that I'm concerned about. With Liverpool, slightly different, but still a fairly good forward line.
Yeah, I mean, I know it's nice to see no Jota and Nunes available, but it's still pretty special. I think it's going to be Salah off the right. There is a chance they could play him through the middle with Nunes out and bring in a Carvalho or whatever, but I think they'll stick with Salah on the right, Diaz on the left, and Roberto Firmino through the middle. I remember seeing him. Did you ever go? I went up there in the League Cup actually. It was one of his first games for him. It was when Klopp had come in and he was kind of backup. And I remember seeing him because they were playing like a backup team in the League Cup, and I thought, this player's going to be special when he comes through. No one really knew if he was going to make it then. I remember he was really good against us. Just a clever player, and I think that's what Lerma's going to be tasked to do. I think it's easy sometimes when you're back three if you have someone that you can just mark. Firmino drops into them holes quite well, and I almost think he'll play Lerma in the centre and say just go with him. If you have to go a little bit higher up, just go with Firmino. So yeah, Firmino's always caused us problems actually. So yeah, I think that'll be the front three, and I look at that team and they've got injuries and that's quite special. Isn't it?
I know there was a little glimpse of it on screen just a minute ago, but I'm going to tell you something, mate. That side that you predicted is exactly the same as what Chris Pajak from the RedMen put on his predicted show, and you didn't know. You didn't know. You haven't watched it or anything.
I think it's one of them. I think most people would expect Fabinho to come back in. I don't think that's a shock. I think, as I mentioned, I think a few Liverpool fans would look at me, do we put Carvalho in? And then there's probably a shout at centre half in there. But yeah, I think I'd be surprised if I feel like I could get that one bang on.
Yeah.
I could do. We'll see.
Yeah, we'll see. So
I'm more confident with the opposition lineup at the moment than Bournemouth.
Yeah, you are.
Because we've changed that system and we've got players coming in and out. But yeah, we'll see. I'm all right with that.
Do you know who the ref is for Saturday's game?
I ain't got a clue.
Stuart Atwell. Does that name mean anything to you?
I know he is.
Right, he refed a certain match between AFC Bournemouth and Nottingham Forest last season. Our promotion game.
Did he?
Yeah.
Oh, lovely.
Where he didn't give them a penalty that should have been a penalty, but this time round, mate, VAR, so there's no getting away with that, eh?
No getting away with it. But yeah, so he gave us the free kick that earned us promotion. Yeah, lovely. That's a nice little omen. I'll take anything at this point. I'll take anything. Yeah, Stuart Atwell, he's in the side. I'm happy with that.
If you're on our Telegram group, it's basically on Back of the Net. We have got our monthly legends. So at the end of the show, you'll see all the people that help us out by paying every month, just a small little amount, which goes to support everything we do. Look, we've got a load of expenses, including our streaming costs, our equipment that we buy, Epidemic sound music subscription, graphic software, and lots more besides. And you guys who do that, thank you so much. Honestly, it really does help. And also you can just do a one-off donation as well. But as a part of it, you get put onto a Telegram group, which is like a cool WhatsApp, a trendy WhatsApp. And we share on that group our bloopers.
There's not many.
No. There are. Also, we also put some first look content on there to give you a preview of certain shows, some show input as well. But also, we'll tell you where the pub is as well for away games as well. So we'll share whereabouts. I mean, I think most people know, but if you want to have a pre-match beer or two, then we'll certainly point you in the right direction on there. Thank you everyone for your support. It truly helps. And yes, mate, predictions then. Go on then. What are you going to go for? What's it to be?
I just can't. I hate predict us to lose, but I can't.
But
I can't see it. I'm trying to be realistic here. I cannot see us quite having enough. I hope it will be a little bit more even. Could we surprise and maybe nick a goal like we have done in the past? Potentially. I'd like to think. I don't want to go for all three of these tough games, City, Arsenal and Liverpool, without really laying a glove. So I'm going to say we're going to nick a goal, but yeah, I'll go 2-1. I'll go 2-1 at Liverpool. I think they'll have too much, mate. But I think if we can have a go at them and come out of it with a bit of pride, we go, come out of these games now, go into the Wolves game with better expectations and in a good place. So, but I think they'll have too much. What about you?
What I don't want is for us to score too early like we did last time, because I think the tactic would then be to sit back on it, and we can't do that. Although at the moment, just as Pajak said, there's a struggle for Liverpool at the moment in breaking down the low block side. So maybe for once we might be able to master it, but in an ideal world, we'll keep it goalless and nick a goal like halfway through the second half, and then it'll be the most horrible final 20 minutes ever, but you never know, it could be a shot. But I've got to be realistic. Jurgen Klopp is going to send a rocket up, I'm certain, and I think we're going to lose, but it wasn't one that we were expected to win. 3-0 to Liverpool, I'm going for, but look, the season then starts on Wednesday, doesn't it? That's when our season starts.
Yeah, exactly. And listen, we looked at the opening four: Villa, City, Arsenal, Liverpool, and we'd have all taken 3 points because Villa felt like that. And that we looked at Villa like that's not an easy game, is it? I mean, Liverpool fans obviously probably got a soft spot for him with Gerrard in charge, and the first game to win that 2-0, quite comfortable and kept a clean sheet. I think that was massive for us, because otherwise, if we hadn't won that, we'd be going, we need to go to Anfield and get something. Because you want to go 4 games, losing them all. And then it's like you say, then it's Wolves, then it's Forest, and we've got like Brighton and Newcastle, and then we'll start going, right, let's see what happens. But that Villa win was massive. So these are kind of bonus games.
There's still a chance that we could lose at the weekend and not be in the relegation zone, which I would absolutely take.
Oh, if you had said to me then first 4 fixtures, we've already ticked off a win and we're not even in the relegation zone, every Bournemouth fan would have taken it. So yeah, we're not trying to be too doom and gloom, but we're going to Anfield. We've just played 2 big teams and really struggled. So yeah, we're going there in hope more than expectation, I would say. But I hope the lads just have a go and make it an enjoyable one. And I hope, even though it'll be a different team, that midweek win in the Carabao Cup and the fact that we went for them and it was an enjoyable game, hopefully that's just good and it kicks momentum going. It means after that everyone's been in good spirit. So let's see, mate.
Yeah, let's see. Right, if you want to put your prediction in the comments, we will happily read them. And hopefully there'll be some of you that are going to give us some optimistic predictions, with reason as well. Don't just put 4-0 Chris Hubble. Don't just put 2-1 Liam Humby. Mark Singleton, I know your game. I've seen you doing it all before, but honestly, as ever, thank you so much for your support. Just a reminder that we are currently at Lockett Fuel. That is on Wallisdown Road. It's part of Ashley Automotive. If you want to check out the links in the description, it's got all their socials on it and their website as well. Do pop along here. Until Saturday, safe travels to Anfield. We'll see you after the game.
Got the Cherries. Up the Cherries.